Let's talk about why I use DaVinci Resolve and why I switched from Adobe Premiere about 4 years ago. Uh, Adobe's fine, actually. I really like it, and I've used Final Cut as well. It was Final Cut 7, not X. Um, Ancient history. But there are reasons why I am a Resolve fan and why I use it as my primary platform now. So let's have a look at those. The main thing that I like about Resolve and why it's possible to switch to it in the first place is that it's a fully featured professional suite of editing and post-production tools. You get a great edit page. The cut page is fun. The Fairlight page is a comprehensive audio suite. Doesn't do MIDI, so that's a knock on it, but still. And the deliver page gives you all the different options you need to deliver a variety of formats, most of which you'll never use. But they're there. And all of this comes in the free version. Yes, there's a free version. And that actually played a major role in our decision to switch because we work with communities a lot. And folks who aren't going to be able to justify spending $300 or $500 a year for a nonprofit on production software. They have other uses for that money, so free speaks really loudly. And the free version isn't that limited. The main issue with its limitations are that it sometimes doesn't do 10-bit video, which is important if you're doing professional video work. But if you can work around that and use 8-bit footage, you're fine. It does everything you need. Then there's the studio version, the paid version, which is about $295 at the moment. And for a while now has been you buy it once and you get upgrades for free. They've been talking about doing paid upgrades for some features sometime in the future. So mini subscription model. We'll see what actually happens. But for now, you get a fully featured suite of tools, and you get AI tools, you get 10-bit and all kinds of other video codecs and sizes. Again, most of us don't use. And you pay for it once. And the AI tools, which I've talked about before, are excellent. Worth the price of admission alone. So in the category of being a robust program, it has, which I've talked about before, programmable hotkeys. And we didn't go in depth on it, but this is the list of stuff that you can assign hotkeys to, all of it. I could keep going. I could scroll so fast that you can't read, and I can still go for a while. All kinds of stuff that you can automate with simple key presses depending on your workflow. And that's a professional feature that I really appreciate, and even the free version had it. Other programs like CapCut, things like it, they will have shortcut keys, but I don't know that they are programmable. So this is a professional feature that I really appreciate. One thing to note about using the free version, that even though it doesn't have all the features of the studio version, the workflow is the same. So with the communities and organizations that I work with, they can start with the free version. And if they've got somebody in the community that really wants to get into video production, they can get the studio version and they'll still have the professional workflow skills that they built with the free version. That's one of the reasons why I prefer to recommend Resolve over something like CapCut. The professional skills that you build and workflow will stick with you. So not only is the free version free, there are low-cost collaboration tools with Blackmagic Cloud that allow many people to work together and share footage and projects over vast distances as long as they have an internet connection. And that's pretty handy. That's come in handy with working with groups around the country. We can actually look at the same project, even if they have the footage, the main footage, on their RAID, and I'm just looking at proxy files. And the same goes the other way. Only one party has to pay for that service, and it's not really all that much if you're careful with your storage. And again, you don't have to have the paid version to collaborate. Another thing I like about Resolve is that it has deeply integrated hardware options. Like I have the speed editor. And this comes with the studio version of Resolve. So you can knock $300 off the price of this and you get an excellent piece of hardware that looks very professional if you're concerned about your desk looking professional, and it works really super well. I also have the newer micro panel for color, and that's about it. They work seamlessly with Resolve, and they really just work well. Now, that leads me to the first thing that I don't like about Resolve, and particularly the hardware options, that they only work with Resolve. And Resolve has somewhat limited, kind of insultingly limited in my mind, uh, support for third-party hardware. Like I have a TouchStaw on a tablet here, and this turns a tablet into a control surface that's very much like a mixing board. And it's kind of cool. I have this tablet with me all the time, so when I'm traveling, I can use it too. And here you have bus 1 up here, and you see when I move the fader here, it moves in the program. And if you move the fader in the program, it moves on the tablet. It does actually support hardware that does the same thing. I have an Icon Platform M+, which has physical faders that actually move. It's really cool. But here we get into our first negative about Resolve, and that is Blackmagic is a hardware company. They want to sell you their hardware, and they don't really have a whole lot of support for third-party hardware. They do have some, to their credit, but it's almost insulting how little support they have. So for example, again here on Cubase, the music program that I use, all of these buttons do things. Every last one of them. And I can make it do a lot more by switching pages. It's pretty cool. With Resolve, I get fader control. I get the track names, which is nice. It helps you stay oriented while you're navigating through your project. And you get transport controls. Not even the time code works. No time code, no meters. And this is a Mackie control protocol. It's been around for a long time. They could easily support it better than they do. I get it. They want to sell you their own hardware. But when it comes to audio control surfaces, they don't have a low-cost option. Their cheapest one's like $3,400. And it's huge. Great if you're doing production all the time and you have a facility set aside for that. It's a business expense. Sure. But that's not the field I'm playing in. The company has some bigger hardware than I've got, but yeah, the communities don't. So even though it's not a perfect platform, I actually really prefer it these days. There was a moment when you couldn't turn around twice without Adobe crashing 3 times. They've gotten better, they've gotten worse. There were a number of headaches that, familiarity breeds contempt. It's still an excellent program, but at the time that I started doing a bunch of community work and I needed free options for them, Resolve was really taking off. So I jumped on it, and I'm pretty glad I did. Thanks for coming along. See you next time.